No, and I think Matt Heineman, our director, said something interesting the other night about movie being, you want a movie to be timely and timeless, and I think that is, it's not for us to say it's timeless, but I think it is timely in terms of the current state of affairs with where journalism's at and the state of the world and the way we receive our news and what we're, opinion becomes truth and fact, and this was the opposite of what people like Marie and Paul were trying to achieve with their journalism, and we're getting further and further away from that, and that's a really thing.
Yeah, Paul was saying he can't believe Syria's still happening. He said he can't believe the fake news is happening. Incredible. He didn't predict this.
No, not at all. I mean, I always was talking to Paul the other night about that, about what Marie would be thinking about this, and the fact that, it says at the end of our movie, over 500,000 civilians in Syria have been killed since 2012 when she died, and it's not getting any better, and people don't seem to be caring that much about it. If this film can help in the tiniest wee bit to shed a bit of light on it, that's a good thing.
Rosamund was saying she's very affected by the film. Watching it back, she couldn't really believe it.
Right.
What happened when you saw yourself back in that situation?
Well, the first time's always weird. I haven't seen it with an audience yet, so I'm going to watch it tonight. I watched it in an editing suite without special effects and everything, but I was still affected because, you do some movies that you just get very emotionally involved in, and you couldn't fail not to with this one. It was a very cathartic journey for all of us. It was tearful most days on set. I'm not joking, it really was, especially towards the end of our time in Jordan. We had a lot of real Syrian refugees, Iraqi refugees with us as extras in the movie, and they would have moments where they just break down and suddenly you're holding some big burly Syrian man because it's all, got a bit real for them, and that has an effect.
Very different from what you've done before.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Incredible. And just finally, what did you learn?
I learned a lot about proper heroism and people who really will risk everything to tell the truth, and you try to hope that some of that rubs off on you. So many extras who are real refugees from Syria and Iraq, and that's an authenticity that you don't get in film a lot. In a lot of those interviews you see with people and they're crying and it's real and they break down, and that was all real. So to be close to that was an incredible privilege. Yeah, I think that's fair to say. Yeah, and if our movie can have any kind of impression on people and about what's actually happening in these places, and there's a little thing at the end, I'm sure you saw in the movie, over 500,000 civilians have been killed in Syria since 2012 when Marie died, and that's a shocking figure, and little to nothing has been done about that, and that's an atrocity, I think. Yeah, well, we're just guns for hire really, and doing our bit, but sometimes you do movies that are strictly entertainment, and then sometimes you do things that have a little bit more weight behind them and matter a bit more, and I think this is one of those. It's changed my outlook on journalism in quite a big way, on real journalism, people who really risk everything to tell the truth of the situations in these war-torn places. That doesn't seem to be too big a sort of want from people anymore. We're so accepting of all kinds of other news that is lesser or fake than that. So and also open my eyes up a lot to these parts of the world that we shut off too easily too. And sometimes it takes an image of a kid washed up on a beach or something to open our eyes up for a little bit about what these people have actually gone through, what the civilian cost is of these wars, and anything that can help shed a light on that is a good thing, I think.